Hi everyone. I know that factoring tends to be a little bit of a tough area for a lot of people, so I thought I would do some examples on video for you guys to watch and hopefully it would help you out. Alright, so let's look at x squared plus 3x plus 2. Whenever we're solving factoring quadratics like this and we're factoring them, the first thing we want to do is look at what numbers multiply together to give us the constant, which is in this case 2. So we only have 1. We have 2 times 1. And we need to ask ourselves, is there any way we can combine 2 and 1 to give us 3? Yeah, we can add them. 2 plus 1 is 3. So that means, I'm going to set up my parentheses here. Please forgive the somewhat sloppy writing. I just got this digital tablet and I'm still getting used to it. All right, so here we go. We said positive 1, positive 2. So now we can see that positive 2 times 1 gives us a positive 2. Positive 1 plus positive 2 gives us a positive 3. I'm going to expand this out, multiply it back out, so we can check our answer. And I'm going to do that using the FOIL method. What FOIL stands for is first, outer, inner, last. All right, so first is x times x, which is x squared. Outer is x times 2, which is 2x. Inner is 1 times x, which is just x. Last is 1 times 2, which is 2. Now combining my like terms, I have x squared plus 3x plus 2. And that's what I started out with, so that means I did it right. All right. Let's look at x squared plus x minus 6. So first we're going to write out our multiplication facts for 6. Now we're going to ask ourselves, can we combine 6 and 1 in any way to get a positive 1? No. What about 3 and 2 to get a positive 1? Yes. Positive 3 minus 2 gives us a positive 1, and positive 3 times negative 2 gives us a negative 6. So we're going to set up our parentheses here. And I said positive 3, negative 2. All right, now I'm going to, I have no idea what happened to that, so I'm just going to rewrite it. I must have clicked back or something on my pen. Okay, so now I'm going to FOIL it, so double check it. So first is x times x, which is x squared. Outer is x times negative 2, which is minus 2x. Inner is 3 times x, so that's positive 3x. Last is 3 times negative 2, which is negative 6. We combine our like terms. X squared plus x minus 6. And that's what we started out with, so we're good to go. All right, let's look at example 3 here. We're going to write 8 over here. 8 is 8 times 1. 4 times 2. We can see immediately that we can use 8 times 1. A positive 8 minus 1 gives us a positive 7. And a positive 8 times negative 1 gives us a negative 8. So positive 8, negative 1. All right. Oh, not x. My bad. Let me erase that. Meant b. All right, now I'm going to FOIL it back out to check. So b squared first, outer, inner, last. Combine like terms. And there we go. We do have what we started with, so our factoring is correct. Oh, too much. Scroll back up a little bit. Alrighty. Okay. So for this one, we know 36 equals 36 times 1. 9 times 4 12 times 3. All right, so we need to pick one of these that will multiply together to give us a positive 36 and add or subtract from each other to give us a negative 15. So if we look at this one right here, we can see that negative 12 minus 3 is negative 15, and negative 12 times negative 3 is a positive 36. So those are the ones we want. So minus 12 minus 3. There we go. All right, okay, so now we're going to talk about ones where the leading coefficient, which is the coefficient on the squared term, is not 1. So up until this point, the coefficient on the squared term has always been 1. But now we're going to look at those where it's not 1. Okay, so we're going to use the method that Ernesto showed us. There is a little bit of a tweak that I need to make just because the problems that we did in class kind of left out a possible type of problem. We can still use that same method. I just need to give a little bit extra instruction for that. Okay? All right, so first thing, we're going to still start out the same like we talked about in class. Multiply our leading coefficient 2 by our constant term 4 to give us 8. So we have x squared plus 6x plus 8. We're going to look at the factors. I'm sorry, not the factors. The multiplication facts for 8. We can see here, we can use 4 times 2 because positive 4 plus positive 2 is 6, and positive 4 times positive 2 is 8. Okay, so now since we multiplied by 2, we want to divide each of these by 2. All right, so this is where the little bit of extra instruction comes in. In class yesterday, all of the examples we did, the numerator could, in one of the sets of parentheses, the numerator was not divisible by the denominator. Oh, well, I better hurry because my computer's about to die. All right, but in this case, both of them are. So what you want to do is you want to choose one parenthesis to actually do the division. And then the other parenthesis, you want to take that denominator and bring it up in front. So for example, I'm going to go ahead and do the division on the first parenthesis here. And on this second one, I'm going to bring that 2 in front of the x. All right? Since this is how it is done, there are 2 possible solutions. For this solution here, I divided 4 by 2 and got 2, and then I took this 2 and put it in front of the x to get 2x plus 2. But I could have done it the other way. I could have chosen to bring this 2 up in front of the x and gotten 2x plus 4, and then divided this to get x plus 1. Both of these answers are correct. Both of them will get you the solutions you need. On your exams and quizzes, I will take both of these answers. Okay, all right, let's move on to the next one. I am going to have to pause because I am going to have to get my charger. So take a moment here to look at this while I grab my computer charger. All right, sorry about that, y'all. I'm back. Okay, so let's look at this one. All right, starting out like before, we're going to multiply 3 times 18, and I'm actually going to make that loop a little bit smaller because I need more space. 3 times 18, so that's going to give us y squared minus 15y plus 54. So I'm going to write out my multiplication facts for 54. There are more, but I'm going to stop here because I can see 9 times 6 is going to give us what we want. And that's because negative 9 minus 6 is negative 15. And negative 9 times negative 6 is positive 54. All right, okay. Now, since we've multiplied our constant by 3, we're going to divide both by 3. This is going to give us the two possible answers like we talked about in the example before. For this first possible answer, I'm going to divide 9 by 3 to get y minus 3 times 3y minus 6. So what I did here is I took the 9 divided by 3 to get y minus 3 in the first set of parentheses. And in the second set of parentheses, I brought that denominator 3 underneath the 6 up in front of y and left minus 6. So the other answer we could get is where I do it the opposite. Oh, sorry, y'all. I need to erase that. Got ahead of myself. All right, so this time I'm going to bring the 3 underneath the 9 up in front of the y to give us 3y minus 9. And then in the second set of parentheses, the y minus 6 over 3, I'm going to go ahead and do the division to get us y minus 2. If you're having trouble believing that both of these are correct, go ahead and do the FOIL method on both, because I did to double check before I made this video. They do come out the same. Okay? All right, and now we're going to look at this one. Multiply 7 times 21. Okay, I don't know what 7 times 21 is, so I'm going to have to do it over here. 147. All right, so that means we can write as a squared minus 14a minus 147. All right, so I'm going to write out my multiplication options for 147. All right, so I don't know off the top of my head my multiplication facts that go up to 147, and I don't expect you to know that either. Here, I'm just going to luck out because I know for a fact 21 times 7 is 147 because that's what I just did. And as you can see here, if I have negative 21 and I add 7, I'm going to end up with negative 14. Okay, so those are the factors we want. So I'm going to go and write them here. So negative 21, positive 7. All right, so now since we multiplied negative 21, our constant term, by 7, I'm going to divide this by 7. And this is going to lead to my two possible factorizations of this quadratic. All right. Okay, so for this one, I'm going to divide 21 by 7. So I'm going to get a minus 3 times, one moment, 7a plus 7, okay? So I divided the 21 by 7 in the first set of parentheses, and in the second set of parentheses, I took the denominator of 7 and brought it up in front of the a. Now for this second set, I'm going to go ahead and do the opposite. I'm going to bring the 7 in front of the a for the first set of parentheses, so I get 7a minus 21. And for the second set, I'm going to go ahead and divide. All right, I hope that was helpful. If you need any more help or would like more examples, email me, talk to me, see me in my office hours, and I'd be happy to help you out. Thanks. Have a great weekend.